Kia ora everybody, and as we all know, the Rugby Championship has just come to an end after the All Blacks beat South Africa on the weekend and ended up claiming the championship for another consecutive year. However, it is time to move on to the end of year tour, and the All Blacks are expected to name a whopping 50-man one squad to go over to Japan and Europe, which will be an absolute squad full of bolters, young guys, veterans, people trying to claim their spot for the World Cup, and it should be a great team to be named, and a lot of talking points will be had. The All Blacks cap it off in Japan, where they play Australia on the 27th of October. They then stay in Japan, play Japan, and then they go to Europe to play England, Ireland, and finally Italy. Steve Hansen and the All Black selectors said that after they have played the Wallabies in Japan, they will send a group of about 22 players over to England to prepare for that game, and they will have 10 remaining players and another group of 19 players come over to focus on the Japan game, which should be very interesting. So I reckon it's time to make some predictions about our 51-man team. I'm going to start off with props and rattle off the obvious ones. So you got Joe Moody, you got Karl Tu'inukuafe, Owen Franks, Nepo Laulala is making his much anticipated return, which is great. He's a great player, he had an outstanding year last year, good to see him back. You got Ofa Tu'ungafasi, Angus Ta'avao, Tim Perry, and then you'll need a couple more. I think they want to test out the propping ranks. You got Jeffrey Tumang-Allen, who I think will be in there. Atu Moli is still injured. He would have been in there had he been fit. I believe Kane Hames is still injured. So I've also got Tyrell Lomax in the squad, who came over from Australia because the All Black selectors saw he had a future, and I think he might be a sneaky inclusion into the team. So I've got about 9 props in there, could be trimmed down to about 8. I think they're willing to give people like Karl Tu'inukuafe a rest and give people like Ta'avao, Nepo Laulala, and maybe Tyrell Lomax a game. So I think the props pick themselves, and those are the props that I would probably go with. Now we look at hookers, and a very interesting debate over hooker here. Dane Coles is expected to play his first game of rugby back this Friday for the Wellington Lions. He will get named in the squad, along with Cody Taylor and probably Nathan Harris. I'm also picking Asafo Aumua will get named. Wouldn't be surprised if Liam Coltman got his name in there maybe instead of Nathan Harris or with Nathan Harris. And there's also another bloke that I've been watching, Samisoni Tukiafo. I think I pronounced that correctly, sorry. From Waikato, who is one of the leading try scorers in the ITN Cup this year, Mitre 10 Cup this year. He's been outstanding, he's carrying, he's making his tackles, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got named there. So I've got about 6 hookers on my list. Maybe they'll probably take 4, so Coles, Taylor, Aumua, maybe Harris or Coltman, or Tukiafo if he gets in. Now let's look at our locks, and the locks pick themselves, as do the props. Sam Whitelock, Brodie Retallick, Scott Barrett, Patrick Tuipulotu, Luke Romano I think will get named off the back of an amazing Mitre 10 Cup. He is up there for Dwayne Monkley Player of the Year. He's got the most carries, he's up there for tackles. And then you've got blokes like Jackson Himmelpour, who they said they want as 6, but comes in as good lock and cover. Other than that, I don't know how good our locking depth is in New Zealand. We've got a lot of blokes like Himmelpour, like Fafita, that can come in and play loose forward or lock. So whether or not they look for those sort of combinations, I'm not too sure. But other than that, I'd go for Whitelock, Retallick, Barrett, Tuipulotu, Romano, and Himmelpour if he's named as loose forward or lock. On to our loose forwards, which is a huge talking point now that Sam Cane has been ruled out for the end of year tour, which is now sparking a huge debate over our breeding new open side flankers. Obviously, Ardie Savea will be our number 1-7, but if he was to get injured, where are we at? So let's break it down. If we look at our blindside flankers, we got Liam Squire, Shannon Frizzell, Vai Fafita, and Jackson Himmelpour in that sort of 6 rankings. If we look at our number 8, obviously Kieran Reid, Luke Whitelock, Ardie Savea if need be. I feel Akira Ioane will get named, and I hope he gets a test. I mean, he got a game last year, but I hope he gets a test maybe against Japan, because he's got a lot to offer. And then is the battle of the sevens, as I mentioned. So Ardie Savea is our number 1 7 at the moment with Sam Cane out. There's a lot of talk of who will be brought onto the tour. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if we named another 2 specialist open side flankers. Dylan Hunt, for me, seems like the next cab off the rank. You know, he went on the end-of-year tour last year. He had a great year with the Highlanders this year, and he's signed with North Harbour and having a blinding season with North Harbour again this year. So I would pick Dylan Hunt as my next 7. But I feel like the All Blacks would like to breed maybe another 7 as well, and that's where another talking point comes in, and there's a lot of room for debate. You have Blake Gibson from the Blues, who was in the training camp last year with the All Blacks but never got any game time. He's a brilliant young 7. You've got James Lynches from Otago on the Highlanders, who's been injured for the whole Mitre 10 Cup, but he has been on the All Blacks radar before, and I think would be, yet again be a great inclusion in the squad. A personal favourite of mine is Mitch Karpik from Bay of Plenty in the Chiefs. As being a Bay of Plenty boy, I'm a little bit biased towards this, but I think he's a real dark horse. I mean, he's quick, he's agile, he's so prominent at breakdown time, as all these 7s are. I think Mitch Karpik just adds something different that none of these other players add in terms of gameplay, and man is he quick. He's been chasing down some of the quickest wingers in the competition in the Mitre 10 Cup. Unfortunately, he's at the Chiefs as well as Sam Cane, so Sam Cane gets all the game time at 7, but if he was at any other Super Rugby franchise, I think would maybe start. He's a great player. Outside shot to get named, though. And then a lot of people saying Lachlan Bozier could get named. He also plays for the Chiefs. He plays a bit of 6. I believe he's played lock before. He, yet again, is an outside chance. So the All Blacks have a lot of room in that 7 area. As I said, I feel Dylan Hunt will definitely get named. And if they are to have a number 7, probably Blake Gibson. But honestly, take your pick. On to the halfbacks now. And this is yet again an interesting talking point. I mean, Aaron Smith, Perenara and Te Tairua Tahuriorangi are 3 definites. 100% definites. Then I feel like whether or not we name another 1 or another 2 is something else. Then you've got Brad Weber, Bryn Hall, and Mitchie Drummond for me are the next 3 off the rank. Brad Weber has played for the All Blacks before. He's got a test to his name. Drummond played last year in the end-of-year tour and has not a test, but he has played a game. And then you've got a bloke like Bryn Hall who is consistently putting his hand up for selection. So I feel they'll take 4 halfbacks, and Weber, Hall, Drummond, take your pick. I myself would take Weber. I'm a huge Brad Weber fan. I've got nothing against Hall or Drummond. They're both amazing players. That's just a personal opinion that I would take Brad Weber. First 5s has got me a bit perplexed here, because obviously Barrett, McKenzie, Mwanga are your 3. And then you think about it, well, if 1 or 2 are to get injured, where are you at? And this is why the All Blacks are naming 51 players, is because they want to see these boys in camp and see what they can provide and what they can give. They said that they are looking at the Mitre 10 Cup players a lot to see how they perform. So I've got 2 names down on my sheet. The first one is Bryn Gatland from North Harbour, who I'm a huge fan of. I think he should have been the Blues number 10 earlier this season, but they chose Stephen Perofeto over him, who in himself is a good player, but I'm a huge Bryn Gatland fan, and I think he probably has a little bit more to offer. He is signed with the Highlanders for next year and should be their number 110. He'll be battling with Josh Ioane from Otago, but I would go Bryn Gatland. I think he's got a lot to offer. His skill set, his kicking game is great. Potential bolter in the squad for me. And the other one is Fletcher Smith from Waikato. You may know him. He's played for the Highlanders and Otago. He signed with Waikato this year. He's been playing fullback in 10, and he has been superb. He's up there in points and tries. He's an all-round great player, and this has been... I think he's in the form of his career at the moment, Fletcher Smith. So another potential bolter. And those 2, I think, 1 could get in the squad. Look, let me know what you think. There are plenty of other viable first 5s out there, but I'd love to hear what you guys think. The midfield, another good talking point. Look, you've got your 5. You've got your 5, Sonny Bill, Anton Leonard-Brown, Jack Goodhue, Nangi Lamape, and Ryan Crotty. Those are your 5, but I would not be surprised, and I'm expecting them to probably name 6. So that 6th spot I'm offering to Vince Arceau, who hasn't played Mitre 10 Cup this year because of injury, which is a shame because he's such a great player, and he's on the All Blacks radar highly. And the other one is Rob Thompson from the Highlanders and Manawatu, who's having a great year this year for both teams. Then you've got, Matt Proctor from the Hurricanes is another one, but I've given it to Arceau or Thompson. If Arceau is fit, I think he'll go. If not, I think they'll give it to Rob Thompson, because both these two blokes have deserved to be in the squad and give it a crack, and both players have something different to offer. Yet again, let me know what you think. That's just my opinion. And now into the outside backs, which I've got some names here, I'll tell you that. So obviously, Waisake Naholo, Rico Ioane, Nehe Milner-Skudder, Ben Smith, Jordie Barrett. Picks themselves. Now we have a lot of room to give other blokes a go. So my number 1 bolter would be George Bridge. I mean, I think most people would agree with that. He's been great for the Crusaders for 2 years. He's been great for Canterbury for 2 years. He can play wing or fullback. I personally like him at fullback. He's such a dynamic player. I'm a huge fan of George Bridge, so I would give him a spot in that team. Next on the list for me is Solomon Alaimalo from Tasman and the Chiefs. He was rumoured to nearly have been picked on the Steinlager series against France. He had a great year for the Chiefs. He's backing up with a great year again, for Tasman. He will play for the All Blacks one day, I feel. I'm very certain about that. Whether that's post-World Cup or on this tour, I don't know. Would love to see him get named. Tavita Lee has been someone that I think has been deserved of an All Blacks opportunity for years now, and he hasn't quite made the cut. He's the leading try scorer in this year's Mitre 10 Cup again. I'm not surprised. The North Harbour winger has also played outstandingly for the Highlanders, and I believe definitely deserves a shot. He's a great player. He's really come through the ranks for a young kid, and I'm a huge fan of Tavita Lee and would love to see him named. Now I've got another 4 names on my list for outside backs, and these are just potentials that I think could bolster the team and also offer something dynamic. So the first one is Will Jordan, the Tasman fullback, who has been outstanding. His pace is great. He's amazing under the high ball. He hits the D-line hard. He finds the smallest of gaps. And he's been great for Tasman this year. One of the keys to their success. He hasn't been around for overly long, but I think would be amazing in that All Black environment, even if he didn't get a game, just to learn. Then I've got Matt Duffy, who went on the end of the year tour last year. Superb wing/fullback for the Blues. Great under the high ball again. Co-captain of North Harbour this year, so he's got great leadership skills and another potential bolter in the squad. I've also got Ben Lamb. Obviously, Ben Lamb off the back of an amazing Super Rugby. He's been a little bit quiet for Wellington this year. He has been very good, but just a little bit quiet. But yet again, didn't get called in the Steinlager series, could get his chance now. And the last one on my list is quite interesting, is Otago winger Jonah Nareki. Now, I believe this is his first or second year with Otago, but man, he is up there for tries, for clean breaks, defenders beaten, you name it, he is up there, man. He's having a great year. He's got a great step on him. He has got toe, he's got pace, and a lot of people might not know who Jonah Nareki is, but I'm a huge fan of his as well. And do I think he'll get named? Probably a long shot. Would I be surprised? No, because of what he can offer in his skill set. So I've given all the names of players that I think could be named and should be named. Look, I've named just over 51, so a few of the players will get cut. And obviously a lot of people will debate what I say and have their own opinion. So I would love to hear what you guys think. Yet again, this is just my opinion. This is just what I believe. So please drop a comment on what you guys believe and let me know. So thanks for watching, and we'll see in the next couple of weeks who gets named. Thank you.